Hey there folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson and I'm glad that you joined us today. Dr. Derta Dopfer from the University of Wisconsin-Madison's School of Veterinary Medicine is going to join us today. We're going to talk about digital dermatitis in cows, otherwise known as heel warts or hairy heel warts. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and more right after this break.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. DocTalk brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick. In Wamego, just a short drive down the yellow brick road.
Folks, welcome to DocTalk and Dr. Dopfer, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Folks, this is Dr. Derta Dopfer, and she is an associate professor at the School of Veterinary Medicine at the University of Madison, Wisconsin, and you're in the Food Animal Production Medicine section.
Correct.
And we're going to talk about digital dermatitis.
Right. Well,
So tell us a little bit about yourself, just so we can get to know you in the show.
I'm an associate professor, as you said. I'm a veterinarian, epidemiologist, microbiologist by training, with a particular interest in infectious diseases in production animals and food animals. I'm very concerned about the well-being of cows, whether that be beef or dairy, and digital dermatitis being one of the most common infectious claw diseases causing serious lameness problems in cattle does apply to dairy and beef in all intensive husbandry systems for cattle all over the world.
Now, I think it's great, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come down, be on the set, and spend a little time, because this is a serious issue. I mean, digital dermatitis is something, when I was in feedlot practice, and that we really didn't see much of, and now we're starting to see it in beef cattle operations, dairy operations, and it's something that people out there should really take a look at.
It's really a problem that is not recent in terms of having emerged in intensive cattle husbandry. It has been around for more than 30 years. I think it's the fact that I'm here today, you said taking my time, it's about creating awareness as to how serious this problem is, and that actually there's some key messages here where we have to make people aware that if you lift a cow's foot to treat those sores, those ulcers at the skin-horn border that are usually red and raw and very stinky and very painful to the cows, we're already too late. Because the treponemes that are like corkscrew-shaped, strictly anaerobic, so they hate oxygen, these bacteria, once you lift that foot, they have already descended deep down into the skin where you cannot really reach them anymore by topical treatment. And so, to me, creating awareness about digital dermatitis is telling people you have to prevent digital dermatitis. And this applies to all lifetime phases of a cow, really, starting at calf age, through pre-calving, heifer age, lactating or beef-producing animals, and goes into the dry cow stage for dairy again.
So what exactly is digital dermatitis?
It is an erosion of the surface of the skin, usually at the skin-horn border, and it is characterized by a red surface usually, but it can be proliferative as well, which means there's chronic, recurrent, periodic kind of reoccurring lesions that will cause pain to the cows and they go lame. But actually, if you rely on detecting digital dermatitis just by the lameness aspect of it, you are even much more too late compared to just lifting the cow's foot to treat them.
And it's an infectious disease.
It's supposedly transmitted between cows, yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more with Dr. Dopfer, and we're going to talk about, how we diagnose it clinically and probably how we get ahead of the curve before it is clinical.
Correct.
Thanks for being here today. Thank you for watching DocTalk. We'll be back right after this break.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
DocTalk, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. It's a pleasure to be here today with Dr. Derta Dopfer from the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Veterinary Medicine, and we're having a great discussion about digital dermatitis.
Yes, we were trying to continue talking about how we diagnose, how we detect heel warts in cattle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's very commonly done by observing cattle walking or observing them while they are feeding at the feed bunks. And what they do is what I call the tiptoe dance. And cows that are in head gates or walking, or standing somewhere, they will start kind of tipping that one cow's claw because they don't want to overextend their fetlocks where these very painful
that's where
sores
it's sore,
are. Yes.
and then they stretch that skin.
Right. And it's a matter of making people aware and being able to detect that so that they detect these lesions even before the cows become lame. And you can kind of train yourself, train your collaborators to doing that in a more strategic way, more systematic way, by observing them in head gates, do so-called in-parlor checks, because then you have the cow's feet at eyesight, and you can discover these lesions even before the cows go lame, which increases the success of topical treatment, actually.
And I think that's been one of our keys. We haven't done, in the dairy industry, y'all now have, the scoring systems for lameness and the systematic lameness evaluations or assessments.
I'm going to surprise you because this system from dairy is actually quite transferable to beef. And
Absolutely.
We've done this right now, and we are using a tool that is called alley checks. We're going to crowd a pen of feedlot cattle into a corridor, and then with the dear help of good farm workers, we make them walk in groups of 3 to 4, like in front of me, and they stop at a gate. I can score the feet, and then we let them go. So there is a way for detecting digital dermatitis before you have these crippled, blocky claws where steers and feedlots are just really extremely lame. And actually what we found, let me finish this because it's really exciting. We found that even a lesion of this size, of a quarter size, will change the gait and the locomotion of these steers significantly. And using these alley checks, actually, we have a tool that will help the beef industry detecting DD earlier than they used to.
Well, it's something that we definitely need to be on top of. And when you start to think about something the size of a quarter, not only causing the clinical signs, but what it probably does to intake, which then goes to feed efficiency, which then more days on feed and money.
Right. What we find using accelerometers, activity meters, is that even if the tiny lesions are present, the steers will lie down less often in terms of bouts of laying down, and they will lie down for more time. And that means that's time that is not spent feeding. And so we're trying to quantify the economic losses that are associated with digital dermatitis in feedlot steers right now as we speak.
Well, diagnostically then, once you see that, I assume we're going to have to go to a break, but then there are ways to test to make sure that that's what we have.
Absolutely. You take samples, you can quantify the treponemes, you can look into the cross-sections of the skin, and this all allows you to get a more complete picture of what digital dermatitis is in either dairy or beef.
It's awesome. Folks, we're going to take a break. More on digital dermatitis when we come back.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica Inc.
I'm Dr. Nels Lindberg with Animal Medical Center and Production Animal Consultation. For today's tip, we're going to talk about proper vaccine storage and proper vaccine handling. It's very important that we store our vaccine in a refrigerator that you monitor the temperature on, such as this. We have a thermometer in the fridge where we can actually monitor it. You'll be surprised at how refrigerators can fluctuate up and down and get outside of that normal storage range. Also, when you're shoot side, we want to make sure and store our vaccine in a cooler, and we don't want to mix up any vaccine until we're ready to use it. The longer this vaccine's mixed up, the more it degrades over time. So preferably we get vaccine used up within 30 minutes to an hour. It's also very important that when we mix up our vaccine, that we use a properly stored transfer needle, one that's clean and stored well. This makes for a handy storage case to store your transfer needle. Make sure it's always clean and taken care of and stored properly. That's all we have for today.
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced performance is here, now. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
DocTalk, brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Dirk Dopfer. And Dr. Dopfer is from the University of Wisconsin-Madison at the School of Veterinary Medicine, where she is an associate professor in the Food Animal Production Medicine group. And you guys have a wonderful group, wonderful campus, and you specifically do a lot of great work on animal health, animal well-being, and digital dermatitis as a focus.
That's correct. Actually, I focus a lot on populations of cattle that suffer from outbreaks of digital dermatitis. And then there's always the question about how to diagnose this, how to treat it afterwards. And I think it's a matter of training ourselves for recognizing it as early as possible and treating it as promptly as possible according to a good practice and standardized protocol. You don't need anything exotic in terms of topical treatment. You just have to be very persistent, detect early, treat promptly, and you have to be aware that not every foot is alike, not every lesion is alike. We type our cows, we type our cattle according to recurrence of lesions. So we have a cow type 1 that never has these acute sores, and they're always part of a population. A cow type 2 that gets it once and then is treated and never recurs. And you have this cow type 3 that has possible lesions every fortnight, every 14 days, and you have to keep treating them. Those are a big concern to producers. That may be dairy and beef. And you want to be able to use those as indicator animals, actually, because if those problem animals are deteriorating and they are developing more serious lesions, you know that the other ones will come in their wake and then outbreak is on the way. So treating digital dermatitis is more than just topically treating the sores. It's a whole concept that ranges and strategizes across all cow ages and feedlot ages, I would think.
Sure, and I think that when you start to think about, not all animals respond, not all people respond to treatments, and that as we move forward with these treatments, what are some of the things that of course we always recommend to our viewers, work with your local veterinarian on diagnosis, treatment, and things to that nature, but what are some of the things that we're doing as far as the topicals, or what are some of the products that are most effective that you've seen?
Very commonly used are antibiotics that are being used topically, such as tetracyclines. And the message here is that you don't need huge amounts of it. 2 grams of tetracyclines, any of the 3 types, could be used topically on such a lesion after it has been cleaned with a disposable paper towel. And then there's a question about wrapping or not. I think you need not wrap, and it's not feasible in feedlot cattle either. Treating digital dermatitis is preventing these ulcers from becoming proliferative recurrent lesions. If you treat too aggressively, you will provoke your own reservoirs of disease. There's an optimum, there's a customized set of treatments that could be given, and what we want to reach in the long run is called the manageable state of disease, which is actually very much in agreement with our good practice of antibiotic use, because if you reduce the prevalence of DD to a minimum, where the farmer is very aware, you don't need to use these antibiotics to the extent that an outbreak situation would have. The same is true for hoof baths that can be customized in an ideal shape to the necessities of the farms.
Wow. It's impressive and spot on with where we're going with society and what we're doing with judicious use of antimicrobials. So let's take a break. And let's get, when we come back, let's get into the prevention.
All right.
Folks, thanks for watching DocTalk. We'll be back after a minute.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tarwater Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This Meet the Future Veterinarian is brought to you by Zuprevo. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Jonathan Wesson grew up in Vail, North Carolina on a cow-calf operation and is a recent recipient of an AmStuts scholarship. Currently a third-year vet student at North Carolina State University, Jonathan plans to join a rural mixed animal practice after graduation. He'll also stay involved with the beef industry through his own purebred Hereford operation.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We are having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Turn to Essential National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand ag professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
This segment is brought to you by Tarwater Farm and Home. Come on by, we'll treat you like family.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Dirta Dopfer, and she is from the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Veterinary Medicine, Associate Professor in the Food Animal Production Medicine section. And we've talked about hairy heel wart, digital dermatitis, and the diagnosis, treatment, but really prevention is where we're wanting to get to.
I absolutely agree. And one message I want to get out there is that I'm convinced that our producers care about their animals. So prevention is geared towards people who make their livelihood with these food animals. And prevention really is key. And prevention should start much earlier than we're currently doing. Particularly the pre-calving heifers don't receive enough attention when it comes to claw health, right? They are the future into their productive lives. And we have to take good care that they start their first lactation or their productive cycles as healthy claw-wise as possible. Prevention strategy that we have developed is called the Integrated Prevention Control System against Digital Dermatitis to reach this manageable state of disease. We identify the bunch of heifers that has the largest prevalence. We count about 60 to 90 days back, which is the time that it's needed to develop these lesions. And we start with early detection, proper record keeping, for example, using DD Pen Walks and the DD Check app, which is a mobile app, which allows you then in the end, if you have repeated measures, to predict outbreaks before they ever happen. We treat according to a standard protocol. We identify certain risk factors and mitigate those. That's always part of this integrated strategy. And we look into sustainable hoof bathing that is customized to the dynamics and the needs of a certain farm. So I would recommend like a standardized hoof bathing protocol in an ideal hoof bath. Sure. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, Friday, using standard chemicals. You don't need anything exotic. You just have to be very persistent and manage your hoof bath well. And then once you reach this manageable state of disease, you could swap out some of the commonly used hoof baths for something more sustainable that does not create workers' health problems or environmental problems with residues.
So do that on your off days?
Yes, and you kind of keep exchanging these hoof bathing agents until you still maintain your manageable state of disease, but you use increasing amounts of these sustainable hoof bathing agents. And you keep monitoring, and since you're able to predict outbreaks before they happen by means of these DD Pen Walks or in-parlor checks or alley checks, you're able to intensify your preventive measures before the big problem happens.
Yeah, I think it's outstanding. We need to do that more in our beef operations as well, and it'd be very easy to incorporate into some of our cattle feeding operations.
I think you need some training and increasing the awareness that there are tools that are actually very useful, and you don't need to overdo your actions in terms of prevention and control to be successful. You just have to be well trained and very aware and very consistent.
The eye of the master. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
And folks, thanks for watching DocTalk. Remember, always work with your local veterinarian. And if you want to find out more about what we do here at Kansas State University, you can find us on the web at www.vet.ksu.edu. Thanks for watching DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson here from Kansas State University, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.